Today we're going to be tinkering around in the garage a little bit. I've got a couple of projects that I'm trying to get done on the Bronco that I need some air tools for, and I only have a small pancake air compressor. Because of that, it's got plenty of pressure, it just doesn't have the volume. So using what I've got and being as frugal as possible, I was able to acquire an old air compressor from my father-in-law. He wasn't using it anymore. The motor's bad in it, and today I'm going to just use it as accessory tank. So I'm going to be disassembling all of the gauges and the motor and everything off the top of it, and just have it be an overflow tank for my small compressor, which will be powering it. So let's get into this. So guys, here's my tank, my old compressor that's not working anymore. I'm not sure what's wrong with it, and I'm not really in the mood to fix it. We're just going to use it as an overflow, just strictly for volume. So I'm going to be removing everything, this motor and the compressor, even this set of gauges and this old switch, because they're all bad. And I'm going to be just putting some new hardware on here. This will be my inlet side, where I'll have a chuck where I can just plug in from my small compressor straight into it. And then I'll put an outlet over here just like it is now. This will be gone. I'll put an elbow or maybe a T in there with a place for a gauge and a regulator. That way I can still regulate how much pressure is coming out of this in order to run my air tools. If you guys remember in the Name My Bronco video, I actually talked about the need to do some radius arm bushings, and those are a bear. They're terrible, really stinking bad. Getting them off and doing it by hand is pretty, just nearly impossible. So I'm hoping to be able to get enough air in this thing that I can use my impact wrench and help me out there a lot, or else it's going to be a bear of a job. So pretty much all I'm doing today is tearing this down, and then hopefully here YouTube time in the next couple of minutes, we'll be putting it back together with a few more items that I go pick up. Stick around. Well, folks, that one is in there pretty good. I'm gonna have to get a little creative. I can't get it to go forward or backward, and it's a brass fitting, so it's really soft, and I'm sure I'm gonna tear it up trying to get it out of there, but it's coming out one way or the other. All right, guys, so there you have it. Motor's off of it. Got the switch off of it. The gauges are in really bad shape, and I got everything taken apart, so I'm going to make a run to the hardware store, buy a couple of items I think I'm going to need, and then see if I can get this put back together for a holding tank. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It is the next morning. I had to take some time this morning to go pick up a few items for the compressor refit. Compressor's still sitting here. It's all disassembled, and I'm not going to take a little bit of time. It won't take 15-20 minutes to get all these parts put together. I hope everything I have is all that I need, and we'll be rocking and rolling. So stick around. Okay guys, so we got that put together. I can already see a couple of little issues that I'm going to have to correct later, but I think we're good to go right now. So right here I've got my inlet coming from my other air compressor. I've got a valve on it. This is one of my problems. My valve turns this direction, then it hits that T. It only opens about 3/4 of the way, so I'm going to go with it for now, but I do need to buy another coupler and then probably a small nipple, and extend that out a little bit. I put this gauge on there to tell me the amount of pressure that's in the tank itself. I should know that because of the other gauge that's on the other compressor, but I wanted to have that ability to be able to see what was in this tank. I added a new regulator, small regulator to this. This is my outlet here. It also has a valve. It just barely misses that regulator. That works all right. Issue here is I really should have put a bend in this. I should have put an elbow here so that this quick connect is sticking out instead of straight up. You live and learn. I just didn't see all that to begin with. So this regulator will regulate the amount of pressure in my hose going to my tool. So if I have 125 pounds in a tank, like the tool that I want to run right now, it says max pressure of 90. I need to be able to regulate that and turn it down so that I'm not giving a full blast of 125 psi to that tool. So it'll get me going for now. I'm going to plug it in, get the compressor running, and see how this thing works and make sure it's not leaking anywhere. I used a whole bunch of that pipe thread compound. Made a little bit of a mess, but hey, it's about functionality, right? So we're gonna give this thing a shot, see how it works. Okay guys, so I got it hooked up to my small compressor, and this thing is up to pressure. So this is the gauge again that reads the pressure in the tank. We're a little over 120. That's what I've got the regulator on the other tank set at. And then this one will be reading the pressure that I have from the line, this line, to my tool. And I'm going to have it set on about 90. So I do have a small leak, very small leak right here, which is okay because I needed to buy an elbow anyway. So, but I'm not going to waste, if I take that apart now, I'm going to waste all the time that I put into filling this thing up. It took a little while with that small compressor, but it got it done, which is great. And all I need is for volume in this thing. I just need the amount of volume to run the tool. So I'm going to use it just to try and make sure everything is working great. I'm going to give it a shot, and might as well use up what air pressure I have in there first before I take that apart and fix it. So I'm going to put this on pause for a little bit, try out my tools, and then we'll see how things are going. I'll go buy the part for that and get it fixed so that we fix the leak, and also so that this chuck is facing out and not straight up. Give us a little relief on the end of our hose. So stick around. Okay guys, through the wonders of YouTube magic, it's been about 2 seconds for you, about an hour for me. As you can see, I've already made some changes to this. Just a second ago on the video, I said I was going to give this a test run, even though I had a small leak. But as I got to looking and trying to adjust the regulator, I had it on upside down. There's actually an arrow on it that I missed that shows the flow of air, and it was pointing into the tank and not out. Bad juju. So I emptied the tank completely. I took everything apart, made a run to the store, went ahead and got the fittings that I need so that I've got these elbows turned out a little bit. Helps with the valves, get some pressure off of this from that one that was sticking straight up in the air. So again, this is the amount of pressure in the tank. This is the amount of pressure in this orange line going to my tool, which can be adjusted with this knob right here. And this is only an auxiliary tank. That's my compressor, that little bitty guy. I'd say little, it's a 5 gallon. It's high output, it puts out air pretty good, up to 150 pounds. I've got about 120, between 120 125 in here right now. I don't need any more than that because the tools I'm running only take about 90 pounds at the moment. I just needed the volume, so that's what I'm doing here. It might look a little sketchy. I don't think it looks sketchy. Everything is legit, but it's definitely not just a regular old compressor. It's just an auxiliary tank. So now I'm going to give it a shot. Looks pretty good to me. So guys, that's all I've got for this video. Short and sweet, just a quick update on what I'm doing with this air tank. You can reuse all kinds of stuff. Just got to put your mind to it and decide what would be most beneficial for you. So Thanks for coming along. If you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. It would sure help out our channel. Thank you to everybody else who has. We have finally hit that magic 3-digit number of 100. We're not we're not to the 500,000 or 1 million mark yet. Nowhere near. But hey, we're super excited that you guys are at least supporting us in that, and that you're tagging along and watching. So if you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. Please ring that bell so that you get notifications, and come back and see us again. Thanks.